Hi, friends. This will be a just brief outline of my new film that I will begin making called Saving Prostitutes. And as I'm talking about it, I'm going to be saying Billy. It's me. So Billy McBride. Scene one. Billy is in his apartment home reading Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. He lives alone, is a musician, who plays the piano and synthesizer, and an artist. The apartment office fire. The fire insurance money was used by the apartments to tear down the old siding and put up new siding. The arrival of the crew who would be working on the siding for months. Billy catches a glimpse from behind of a lady who looked exactly like his old friend Ariel. Billy passes by another beautiful lady on a walk around the apartments. Billy is back at his apartments, lying down in his bed. The very loud banging of the construction crew. The sexual noises and horrifying screams coming from the neighboring apartment. Scene 2. The cars showing up in the parking lot all night. The sexual noises and terrifying screams at night. Billy uneasy lying down in his bed again alone. The tingling in Billy's foot is noticed. Billy at first ignores the pulses in his foot. Then he wonders about them, for they appear to be pulsing like syllables of a language. The idea Billy has to talk back to the pulsing in his foot. The pulses are smooth and kind-hearted. Billy asks the pulses who's causing them, and the lady named Hope says that she is doing them, and that she is the prostitute in the neighboring apartment, living there with another prostitute and a pimp named Rodney. Hope tells Billy that she does not want to be a prostitute. Billy wants to help her. When Hope has to leave to prostitute herself, and the other prostitute named Jill also talks to Billy in pulses in Billy's body as Billy is lying down on his bed. Both Hope and Jill are very kind and friendly to Billy as he realizes that he's channeling two prostitutes who live next door to him. Scene 3. After a few weeks of channeling Hope and Jill, they and Billy begin a plan to help rescue them from the cruel pimp, Rodney, who's keeping them trapped inside Rodney's apartment place, while drugging them so that they are dependent on him because they are addicted. At certain times, Hope or Jill tell Billy to take out the trash and check out all that is happening in the neighborhood with the crewmen tearing down the siding. Billy learns of the collusion between the pimp Rodney and the crewmen who are seeing the prostitutes at all hours of the day. The horrible and terrifying screams keep occurring while the crewmen are having sex in the neighboring apartment. Billy feels afraid for his life as well for the prostitutes, Hope and Jill, whom he has been channeling. One day, Hope tells Billy to meet Rodney by leaving a note on his car which reads, "I would like to meet Hope in time," and he wrote his apartment number on it. Rodney showed up and told Billy that he did not know who Hope was. He was a crude and sly man, but when he saw that Billy had a Roland synthesizer, he wanted to show Billy his own Roland equipment. Billy was taken by him to his own apartment next door, but when Billy saw a bed in the middle of the living room floor and a lady appear wearing only a negligee, he left. Back at home, Jill told Billy that was their place where all of the prostitution of Hope and her was happening. On another occasion, Rodney came to Billy's place and offered Billy a book to read about the music business. When Billy said that he did not like how men sometimes mistreated women, Rodney mocked Billy by calling him Captain Save-A-Ho. Scene 4. Billy continued to channel Hope and Jill while alone on his bed. They would talk all night and all day, and when Jill was with the men, Hope came to Billy in the channeling, and when Hope was with the crewmen, Jill would channel Billy. The horrible and terrifying sexual screams kept going on. Billy was still scared for his life, for the crewmen were everywhere and the apartment place looked like a hurricane went through it. Horrible bangs kept happening outside, and they would echo through the air, and it was hard to know really if they were not gunshots. It was beginning to appear as if the crewmen were a part of a cosmological Nazism, and that they were cleaning up, in quotes, the apartment place of unwanted people by killing them. Billy felt as if an ancient evil had descended upon the place in time. Hope and Jill would tell Billy when to take out the trash and when to go outside and check things out. They told him to return the book to Rodney, which he gave to Billy. Billy fell in deep love with Hope and Jill. He wanted to save them from prostitution and drugs and help them find a better life. After finding a diamond in a parking lot of a restaurant, on July 30th, 2009, Billy asked Jill to marry him in the channel while he was channeling her. She said yes, and then Jill and Hope then Jill and Hope switched places, and he asked Hope to marry him, and Hope also said yes while Billy was channeling her. Scene 5. Over the next 2 days, Hope taught Billy a special number game where she would tap out 2 numbers and then tap the first one again, which meant that Billy should tap out the second. And so they played this wonderful and soothing number game for 2 days after they were married. After the 2 days, it had been a few months that Billy had known about Hope and Jill from the first time that they came to him in their channeling. Billy and Hope and Jill decided it was the right time to call the police about the prostitution ring which the pimp Rodney had been running. Billy cleaned up his apartment so that when the police would arrest Rodney, that Hope and Jill would come and live with Billy. Billy dialed the phone number of the police. The police said that they were on their way. Billy watched out his window as the police showed up and made their way to Rodney's place. He waited a while, and then the police knocked on Billy's door. When Billy opened it, expecting to see Hope and Jill being brought to his home by the police, it was just 2 police officers. The cops said to Billy that they found nothing wrong and wondered if Billy might just be anxious. Billy was confused and the police left. Sad and confused, Billy went to lay down on his bed. He had just married Hope and Jill 2 days before, and he was worried about them. There was a pulse that started happening in Billy's foot. It was a new message from Hope in her channeling. Hope said that she and Jill had to come clean to Billy. She said that she and Jill were just angels, and that was how they wanted to be with Billy. So Hope and Jill were not human prostitutes after all, and that they had been posing as prostitutes in a channeling in order to get to know Billy and love him as angels do. After coming clean, Billy was shocked, but they all talked and loved each other as they should. And here's the epilogue. Billy married other angels too by such channeling, though knowing that they were angels this time. It has been more than 15 years since these angels and Billy fell in love and were married, and they all live in happiness and love each other more and more every day. Thanks for watching.